Thinking about buying a Subaru Forester? You might want to think twice. While it's marketed as a practical, family-friendly SUV, the reality tells a different story. In this video, we'll uncover 6 major reasons why the Forester may not be the right choice for you. Number 6. CVT Transmission Issues. If the Forester's lack of power wasn't disappointing enough, the transmission makes the driving experience even worse. Subaru's Lineartronic CVT may look appealing on paper, but in reality, it has become a constant headache for many owners who expected smooth and dependable performance. The most frequent complaint is the dreaded shuddering and jerking when accelerating from a stop. This isn't just inconvenient, it often signals costly internal issues beginning to surface. Many drivers also report delayed acceleration, where the engine revs loudly, yet the SUV barely moves forward. That disconnect between sound and movement is not only frustrating, but concerning. Another common symptom is the high-pitched whining noise during acceleration, which often indicates internal wear. Left unchecked, this can lead to complete transmission failure. When that happens, owners face repair bills ranging from $4,000 to $7,000, and in many cases, the transmission must be replaced entirely. Maintenance requirements only add to the frustration. Subaru officially recommends CVT fluid changes every 100,000 miles, but most independent mechanics advise far shorter intervals of 30,000 to 40,000 miles to prevent premature wear. That means more frequent and costly maintenance than Subaru advertises. It's also worth noting that Subaru previously extended warranties on CVTs in older models, a clear acknowledgement that these transmissions have a long history of reliability concerns. Number 5. Underpowered standard engine. At the core of any vehicle lies its engine, and unfortunately, the Forester's 2.5-liter Boxer simply doesn't deliver the strength drivers expect. Subaru promotes it as reliable and efficient, but in practice, it often feels sluggish, especially when merging onto busy highways or trying to overtake slower traffic. This naturally aspirated 4-cylinder generates about 180 horsepower and modest torque, which is hardly sufficient for a 3,600-pound SUV. Acceleration from 0 to 60 takes around 8 seconds, and in real-world driving, it feels even slower. The problem only worsens when the vehicle is loaded with passengers and cargo. On trips with gear and family in tow, expect the Forester to struggle up inclines and work hard just to maintain highway speeds. Spirited driving is out of the question. The frustration for many owners comes from knowing Subaru has a solution. Their 2.4-liter turbocharged engine, found in other models, produces a far more capable 260 horsepower and 277 pound-foot of torque. Yet, for reasons that leave loyal fans scratching their heads, Subaru refuses to offer it in the Forester. This oversight has sent many buyers looking elsewhere, toward competitors like the Mazda CX-5 Turbo, which delivers the performance the Forester sorely lacks. Number 4. Dated interior design. Step inside the Forester's cabin and it feels like you've been transported back a decade, and not in a nostalgic way. While competitors are pushing forward with sleek layouts, modern technology, and premium finishes, Subaru's interior lags behind with a design that feels stuck in the past. The dashboard layout is a clear example, combining mismatched screens with old-school analog controls that look out of place in today's market. Material quality is equally disappointing. Yes, there are some soft-touch surfaces in key areas, but much of the cabin is covered in cheap-feeling hard plastics. The glossy piano black trim around the gear shifter is a particular pain point, as it collects dust, fingerprints, and scratches almost instantly. Even basic ergonomics show frustrating oversights. The center console has an awkward bump that intrudes on legroom, making longer drives uncomfortable. Storage solutions are poorly thought out too. There's no proper space to fit a modern smartphone, and the cup holders are both oddly positioned and too small for many standard drink containers. Practicality takes another hit in the rear, where the seats don't fold completely flat. For a vehicle marketed toward outdoor enthusiasts and families, this limits cargo flexibility in ways that buyers don't expect from a so-called adventure-ready SUV. For a brand that prides itself on practicality and usability, Subaru's dated design choices leave you questioning whether they truly understand how people use their vehicles today. Number 3. Infotainment system problems. Few things are as frustrating in a modern vehicle as a poorly executed tech setup, and Subaru's Starlink system is one of the worst offenders. It's so problematic that it's currently the subject of a class action lawsuit covering multiple model years, including recent Foresters. Owners frequently report the system freezing, becoming completely unresponsive, or experiencing ghost touches where the screen registers inputs you never made. Picture relying on your backup camera only for the display to lock up right when you need it most. That's not just inconvenient, it's unsafe. Connectivity is another major headache. Bluetooth drops without warning, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto cut in and out, and the system regularly forgets saved devices and preferences. When both Android Auto and CarPlay are connected, the Forester even develops a prioritization glitch that can leave you without navigation at the worst possible time. The hardware itself only adds to the frustration. The display tilts awkwardly upward, creating excessive glare in bright conditions. Resolution is unimpressive. The graphics look outdated, and the system responds more sluggishly than a cheap entry-level smartphone, hardly acceptable in a vehicle costing tens of thousands of dollars. Number 2. Poor sound insulation. Get ready for a ride that's far noisier than it should be, stripping comfort out of every journey. Soundproofing has never been a strong point for the Forester, and the latest generation continues this weakness, falling behind nearly every rival in its class. The Boxer engine, while praised for its handling benefits, produces constant vibrations and a low hum that becomes especially intrusive during acceleration. This isn't subtle background noise, it dominates the cabin, making conversations difficult and turning music into a competition against engine drone. At highway speeds, wind noise becomes another major annoyance. Add a moon roof or roof rack, and the issue worsens as the Forester's boxy shape catches more air, creating a constant whooshing sound. Compared to rivals like the Honda CR-V or Toyota RAV4, the difference in refinement is immediately obvious. Road noise is where the Forester's shortcomings are most apparent. Large, thin windows do little to keep external sounds out, and tire noise grows so loud that many owners experiment with different tire brands just to reduce the roar. Above 60 miles per hour, the cabin becomes noticeably louder than competitors like the Mazda CX-5 or CR-V. Some frustrated owners have even admitted to considering earplugs for highway driving. A drastic step that highlights just how poor the Forester's sound insulation really is. Number 1. Annoying driver assistance systems. Perhaps the most frustrating part of owning a Forester is that the very safety technologies meant to make driving easier often make it more stressful. Subaru heavily promotes its EyeSight suite of standard features, but in real-world driving, the execution leaves much to be desired. Automatic emergency braking tends to overreact, triggering sudden and unnecessary stops that can be dangerous in traffic. Lane keeping assist is equally irritating, fighting against you during minor steering corrections as if every adjustment were an accidental drift. Adaptive cruise control struggles on hills, with speed swings of over 10 miles per hour that defeat the purpose of maintaining a steady pace. Not only does this inconsistency ruin the convenience factor, but it also impacts fuel economy and overall comfort. Then there's the automatic start-stop system, which drivers must disable manually every single time they start the car. Subaru offers no permanent off switch, forcing owners into the same button sequence over and over again, a clear example of regulatory compliance taking priority over driver experience. The real problem: none of these features are optional. You're paying for technology that frequently makes driving more stressful rather than less. Many owners report that constant alerts, false warnings, and overactive interventions create more distraction than the issues these systems were designed to solve. Still, despite these flaws, the Forester remains a strong contender in its class, backed by some well-known strengths. Thanks for watching.